Have you ever woken up in the middle of the night with a sudden, sharp pain twisting through your calf? Or maybe you've been out shopping or enjoying a stroll around the block when your leg seizes up without warning. These leg cramps can be startling, uncomfortable, and even frightening. And if you're over 65, you might already be managing various health concerns. So the last thing you need is another problem holding you back from the activities you love. Yet for many people in this stage of life, leg cramps have become an all too familiar visitor. It's easy to dismiss them as one more inevitable part of aging. But what if these painful interruptions aren't something you simply have to endure? What if there are ways to significantly reduce your risk of those agonizing Charlie horses while also boosting your balance, letting you walk, dance, and move with greater confidence? You may already know the fear that comes with losing your balance as you get older. Maybe you've caught yourself wobbling on an uneven sidewalk or had a close call in your own living room. A fall can lead to injury, loss of independence, and a long recovery process. For many seniors, avoiding movement altogether starts to feel safer. Yet staying still can lead to weaker muscles, stiffer joints, and less confidence overall. It becomes a vicious cycle, one that robs you of the freedom to do the simple things that used to bring joy, like standing in the kitchen to cook for a friend or dancing at a family wedding. Today, I want to share 8 standing moves that can help you address both of these challenges, reducing leg cramps and boosting balance. Imagine being able to walk around your neighborhood again without worrying that your legs will suddenly cramp up or give out on you. Imagine waking up in the morning free from the dread of nighttime cramps that left you sore and tired. These simple moves don't require fancy equipment or an expensive gym membership. They can be done at home, at your own pace, and modified to suit your comfort level. As a vitality coach who has worked with older adults for years, I've seen firsthand how these strategies can transform daily life. And while I'm not a medical doctor, I've collaborated with physical therapists and fitness experts who specialize in senior health, ensuring that everything I share is grounded in sensible, age-appropriate guidance. As you follow along, you'll learn how to gently stretch and strengthen the muscles in your legs while practicing safe balance, boosting movements. By the end of this session, you'll have a practical toolkit of techniques you can incorporate into everyday life, brushing your teeth, waiting for the kettle to boil, or even chatting with your neighbors. In each of the 8 moves, we'll tackle a common misconception that often holds seniors back, show how real people just like you have overcome it, and give you a fresh perspective that could make all the difference. Before we dive in, I'd love to know, what is one activity you used to enjoy but find more challenging now due to leg cramps or balance issues? Take a moment to think about it, or share it if you're in a group or have someone watching with you. That single activity can serve as your personal motivation, reminding you of the bright possibilities that open up when you decide to make your body stronger and more flexible. This is your journey, and I'm here to cheer you on every step of the way. Let's begin with the first move that could help turn those cramped, unsteady moments into newfound confidence and energy. Never stand too long. It strains your legs. That's the well-meaning advice many of us grew up hearing, and it might have been repeated by family members or even some healthcare providers who believe that too much standing puts pressure on joints and muscles. While it's true that prolonged standing without movement can cause discomfort, the misconception is that seniors should generally avoid standing exercises. Let's look at Alice, age 70. Alice thought she was doing the right thing by sitting most of the day to avoid straining her legs. Yet over time, she started experiencing more intense cramps at night. What she didn't realize was that her muscles were weakening from lack of engagement. We often overlook that a muscle at rest for too long can tighten up, leading to cramps when you finally use it. A more balanced approach is to stay gently active throughout the day. Here's a simple starting move you can try right now, the standing calf stretch. Stand behind a sturdy chair or counter, place one foot behind the other as if you're about to take a step, and gently press the heel of your back foot into the ground. You'll feel a gentle stretch in your calf. Hold for about 15 seconds, then switch legs. If you need extra support, keep both hands on the chair or countertop. This move helps lengthen calf muscles that may have tightened from prolonged sitting. And it's not just physical relief you'll experience. Alice, for example, Notice that after making calf stretches a daily habit, her nighttime cramps eased significantly. More importantly, she felt more in control of her own body. No longer was she bracing for that sudden jolt of pain at 2 a.m. She could drift off with greater peace of mind. One added benefit: these stretches also encourage better circulation, which is vital for overall leg health. When blood flows freely, muscles receive oxygen and nutrients that support recovery and flexibility. This gentle stretch can be done while waiting for your coffee to brew in the morning. It's that simple and that adaptable. If you want an extra challenge, try doing the stretch with just one hand lightly resting on the chair, training your sense of balance at the same time. Remember to breathe deeply and keep it pain-free. A comfortable stretch is what you're aiming for. No need to push until it hurts. Let's check in for a moment. Could you see yourself doing a calf stretch like this while you're waiting in your kitchen or taking a break from reading? If you catch a cramp starting to creep in, try this stretch gently to see if it helps ward off that unwanted tension. That leads us to our next move, which addresses a related myth about resting up after a leg cramp. After a cramp, you shouldn't exercise. You need total rest. It makes sense that you'd want to rest a sore muscle after a cramp, right? Many seniors have been told that movement could aggravate the tension or even cause another cramp. But here's the twist. While resting is important for recovery, keeping the muscle in complete inactivity can actually make it more prone to cramping again. It's the difference between sensible rest and immobilization. Consider Fred, age 68. He experienced severe calf cramps that left him limping around the house. He would spend days barely moving, hoping his calf would heal on its own. Unfortunately, this approach made his muscles even stiffer, and the cramps would return as soon as he attempted a short walk. A great way to gently re-engage the muscle after you've had a cramp is to perform standing heel lifts. You can try this by standing with your feet hip-width apart, hands resting lightly on a table or the back of a chair. Slowly rise onto the balls of your feet as if you're standing on tiptoe, then lower your heels back down. If your calves are still sensitive, make the movement smaller. Maybe raise your heels just half an inch at first. Over time, increase the range of motion as your comfort grows. The misconception is that you'll trigger another cramp by moving your foot this way. In fact, by carefully strengthening these muscles, you improve their resilience and reduce the likelihood of future cramps. For Fred, these heel lifts felt challenging at first because he expected the worst, that a cramp would strike again. But gradually, as he built strength, he realized he was getting fewer cramps at night. Even better, his balance began to improve because heel lifts train your feet, ankles, and core muscles to work together. There's also an emotional component here. Every time Fred completed his sets of heel lifts, he felt a surge of self-assurance. He saw that his body wasn't an enemy, and his muscles weren't doomed to fail him. They just needed consistent, gentle practice. That sense of accomplishment can be incredibly motivating. If you've recently experienced a cramp, you don't have to jump right into strenuous movement. Light controlled exercises like these can actually facilitate faster recovery and prevent recurring cramps. Give it a try. Just be sure to consult your healthcare provider if you have any specific concerns. And if you notice even a small improvement, celebrate it. Small victories accumulate into transformative changes over time. Does this remind you of a time when you hesitated to move after a bout of cramps or pain? It might help to reflect on that and how a measured approach could have made a difference. Feel free to pause here and think about how you'll incorporate heel lifts into your day, maybe while brushing your teeth or doing the dishes. Since we're on the topic of gentle yet effective movement, let's transition to something that works both your leg muscles and your sense of stability at the same time. Seniors should avoid single leg exercises. They're too risky. It's true that standing on one leg can feel daunting, especially if you've had any history of falls. Some might say, why risk it? But the catch is that practicing single leg balance under controlled, safe conditions can dramatically enhance your stability in everyday life. Think about Linda, who's 73. Linda was always active in her younger days, dancing and gardening. When she noticed she was starting to shuffle more and feeling nervous about losing her balance, she worried that attempting anything on one leg would be disastrous. Her fear wasn't unfounded. A fall can be serious at any age. particularly after 65. But by avoiding all single leg exercises, Linda was missing an important piece of the puzzle for preventing leg cramps and improving overall steadiness. What could Linda do instead? A great option is the supported one-leg stand. Begin by holding onto a stable chair or counter with both hands. Shift your weight onto one foot while you lightly lift the other foot an inch or two off the floor. Even that tiny lift can work wonders. If you feel steady, try loosening your grip. Keep your eyes forward, your chest tall, and engage your abdominal muscles for extra support. You might feel your standing leg quiver. That's your muscles waking up. Over time, you can challenge yourself by letting go with one hand, or eventually both, although staying close to a supportive surface is crucial for safety. With consistent practice, Linda found that her legs were less prone to those uncomfortable spasms that used to flare up when she turned in bed or got out of a chair too fast. She also discovered she was more comfortable walking upstairs and stepping off curbs. A bonus benefit here is that training your balance in a controlled manner can help you avoid those little stumbles throughout the day, like tripping over a throw rug or losing your footing on a damp sidewalk. The emotional payoff is huge. Linda describes feeling more grounded, both physically and mentally. Rather than fearing the next misstep, she looks forward to her balance practice as a moment of self-care. It's an act of reclaiming confidence. You might try the supported one-leg stand while you're watching the kettle or talking on the phone. And if you ever feel unsteady, keep that support close at hand. It's all about finding that sweet spot between challenging your balance and staying safe. Is there a point in the day when you could add a quick balance check like this? Maybe once in the morning and once in the evening, building a little routine that your body can rely on. If you're open to it, give it a try. And if you're finding this helpful, maybe share the idea with a friend or family member who's also concerned about balance. Continuing our journey, let's look at another widely held belief that might be preventing you from seeing progress. You have to do big, complex workouts to make any real difference. Many seniors feel overwhelmed by this idea. They think, I'm not signing up for a gym membership or doing a boot camp routine. That's too much for my age. But strength and mobility improvements don't have to come from intense workout sessions. They can emerge from small, simple moves done regularly. Let's visit Donald, age 77, who was convinced that to be stronger, he'd have to commit to a schedule of long exercise classes. He worried about cost, transportation, and whether his body could keep up. Because he believed big workouts were his only option, he ended up doing nothing at all. One of the most effective exercises for both cramp reduction and balance support is the standing hamstring curl. Here's how it goes. Stand upright holding onto a chair or countertop. Bend one knee so your foot lifts toward your backside. You should feel a tightening in the back of your thigh, your hamstring muscle, then lower your foot back down. Start with a small range, especially if your leg feels tense. Alternate sides or do a few reps on one side before switching. Donald tried this whenever he had a spare moment, waiting for the microwave to beep, for instance. Over weeks of practice, he noticed his legs felt more resilient. Those random cramps that used to strike when he was relaxing on the couch became much less frequent. An unexpected perk was that going upstairs felt easier too. The emotional lift from realizing that small actions can lead to real results is priceless. Donald no longer felt defeated by the idea of not being able to do enough. He learned that a few minutes here and there add up to meaningful progress. If you find yourself thinking that real change requires huge effort, let this serve as a gentle reminder that little steps can take you far. Each standing hamstring curl is like a vote of confidence in your body's ability to adapt. You might even start to feel that sense of ability spill over into other areas of life. You become more open to trying new hobbies or activities because you see that you do have the power to grow stronger. Now might be a great time to check in with yourself. Are you someone who feels daunted by the thought of large-scale workouts? Could you see yourself sprinkling in these small movements throughout your day instead? If so, jot down a plan for when you might do your hamstring curls. Maybe each time you wait for the water to warm up when washing dishes. And don't forget, consistency is your best friend here. We've covered half of our 8 moves. Let's pause for a moment of reflection. How are you feeling about these exercises so far? Do you see opportunities to incorporate them into your daily routine? Or do you still feel some barriers? It's okay to have doubts, and it's okay to take things slowly. Think about the benefits you stand to gain. Less discomfort, less worry about falls, and a renewed sense of capability. Sometimes sharing with a friend or loved one can keep you accountable and motivated. If you have someone you trust, consider talking to them about what you're learning and see if they want to join in. Let's move forward to our fifth exercise, tackling another common misconception that can hold seniors back from strengthening their legs and reducing cramps. If it doesn't hurt, it's not working. Many people who grew up with a no pain, no gain mentality believe that a workout must be intense, sweat dripping, and even painful to be effective. This mindset can be particularly harmful to seniors who risk injury if they push beyond safe limits. Let's look at Maria, age 72, who came from a background in which her family always prided themselves on tough workouts. Even as she aged, she assumed gentle exercises were too easy to make a difference. Then she developed persistent knee and calf cramps. Her doctor recommended low-impact movements, but Maria dismissed them as lightweight. It wasn't until she tried them out of desperation, her cramps had become unbearable, that she realized how beneficial these gentle motions could be. One of the best gentle exercises you can do is the seated to standing squat, which actually starts seated, but it quickly becomes a standing move. Begin by sitting in a sturdy chair with your feet about hip-width apart. Place your hands lightly on the armrests or on your thighs. Lean forward a bit, engage your core and leg muscles, and push yourself up to standing. Then slowly sit back down, taking care to control your descent. If you're comfortable, do this without using your hands. This move strengthens your quadriceps, hamstrings, and glutes, all of which are involved in maintaining balance and preventing leg cramps. Maria discovered that even though this exercise never left her out of breath or in pain, it helped reduce her cramps' intensity and frequency. It also improved her ability to get out of chairs and car seats with greater ease. The emotional benefit for Maria was profound. She realized that she could nurture her body without punishing it. Instead of dreading her exercise routine, she looked forward to it because it didn't leave her achy or exhausted. And as the cramps subsided, she felt a renewed sense of hope. It's a reminder that not all fitness gains need to come with soreness or struggle. Progress can be comfortable, steady, and enjoyable. If you're at home, you can incorporate seated to standing squats during TV commercial breaks or whenever you're about to head to the kitchen. Over time, you might be surprised at how much stronger you feel. And let's not forget the psychological boost of mastering a movement you once thought you couldn't do. Every time you stand up from a chair without pain, you're proving something to yourself. You can continue improving, no matter your age or limitations. Moving on, we address another deep-rooted myth that often keeps seniors from working on leg strength and balance. Focus on cardio only. Muscle work isn't as important. There's no denying the value of cardio for heart health and general endurance. But skipping muscle-strengthening exercises can be a big mistake if you're seeking to reduce leg cramps and improve balance. Let's consider Carolyn, age 69, who was a dedicated walker. She walked about a mile every day around her neighborhood. While walking is great, Carolyn's doctor pointed out that she was still experiencing severe nighttime leg cramps and struggled with tasks that required standing on one foot, like putting on her socks. Cardio alone wasn't addressing the muscle imbalances contributing to her cramps and her wobbly balance. Carolyn decided to add an exercise known as the lateral leg raise. To do this, stand with one hand resting on a stable surface. Slowly lift one leg out to the side, keeping the knee straight and the foot flexed. You'll feel this in your outer hip and thigh. Then lower the leg back down. Start with a small range of motion. As you build strength, you can raise the leg higher. Carolyn fit this move into her routine by doing a set of 10 reps on each side after her daily walk. She quickly noticed that her hips felt more supportive, which led to fewer cramps in her thighs. Even tasks like climbing stairs became easier because her stabilizing muscles were stronger. In time, Carolyn experimented with letting go of her support hand for a second or two, boosting her balance further. The emotional shift was significant. Carolyn felt empowered knowing she could be proactive about her leg health instead of enduring a chronic cycle of cramps and instability. She also realized the synergy between her walks and these targeted strength exercises. They worked hand in hand to give her more endurance and better muscle tone, which ultimately led to more enjoyable, pain-free walks. If you're focusing on cardio alone, think about adding a strength component like the lateral leg raise. It's straightforward, can be done anywhere, and contributes to a well-rounded leg strengthening strategy. That brings us to the concept that balance training can be dull or repetitive. Balance exercises are boring and have little real-world benefit. It's common for seniors to dismiss balance exercises as a chore or something that doesn't offer immediate gratification. Albert, age 74, felt that way. He hated standing in place, feeling like he wasn't making progress or wasn't doing anything that challenged his heart rate. However, he was also tired of narrowly avoiding falls when walking on uneven ground or stepping into the bathtub. His daily leg cramps were another source of frustration. He'd already tried various home remedies with minimal success. At a friend's suggestion, Albert finally gave balance practice a try. He started with the tandem stand. Stand with one foot in front of the other, heel to toe, as if you're standing on a tightrope. Keep a chair or wall close by. Try to hold this position for 10 to 20 seconds, then switch feet. Albert found it surprisingly challenging. He wobbled at first, but within a couple of weeks, he managed to hold the position for longer without gripping the chair. While this move doesn't scream intensity, it helps align your ankles, knees, and hips in a way that supports better posture and steadiness. Over time, Albert noticed that his calves and the muscles in his feet felt less strained, leading to fewer cramps, and he had more assurance when walking around his backyard, where the ground was uneven. Beyond the physical gains, Albert felt a renewed sense of mental alertness. Balance exercises often involve a degree of concentration and proprioception, the awareness of your body's position in space. It gave him a sense of pride to watch his stability grow and his leg cramps diminish. If you find balance exercises dull, consider the real-world benefits. Fewer close calls when stepping off a curb, more confidence in slippery or crowded areas, and reduced muscle tension that can lead to cramping. Sometimes the small, methodical exercises are the exact building blocks we need for an active, fulfilling life. We have one final misconception to tackle, and it relates to the idea that it's too late to see substantial changes if you've been dealing with cramps or poor balance for a long time. It's too late. My legs are too far gone for improvement. At some point, many of us have felt like our bodies have reached the end of their ability to change. Let's look at Rebecca, age 80. She battled leg cramps every single night for nearly a decade. She believed it was simply her fate. She also used a walker, convinced that she could never improve her balance enough to move without it. Her granddaughter, a physical therapy assistant, suggested a series of gentle standing exercises like the ones we've explored here. Skeptical but out of options, Rebecca gave them a try. One of the moves that profoundly helped her was the standing hip shift. With feet shoulder-width apart and holding onto a counter, Rebecca shifted her weight from one leg to the other, focusing on engaging the standing leg and keeping her posture tall. At first, she could only manage a few shifts before her hips felt tired or sore. But day by day, she grew stronger. As the weeks progressed, her nighttime cramps gradually lessened. And to her amazement, she found that she could stand unassisted for short periods. While she still used her walker for longer distances, the simple act of standing more securely gave her a sense of freedom she thought was long gone. Rebecca's story illustrates a powerful truth. Improvement is often still possible, no matter your age or how long you've been dealing with these challenges. Muscle strength can be built and maintained with the right approach and consistency. For Rebecca, the biggest emotional hurdle was overcoming the feeling of hopelessness. Each successful hip shift was a reminder that she wasn't locked into a future of endless cramps and frailty. She was making strides, literally. As you consider your own journey, remind yourself that it's never too late to start small. Even if you do just a few repetitions of one of these exercises, it might be enough to show you that change is still within reach. You might even impress yourself with how adaptable your body really is. We've now explored 8 standing moves that can help reduce leg cramps and boost balance. Let's tie it all together. The calf stretch, standing heel lifts, supported one-leg stand, standing hamstring curl, seated to standing squat, lateral leg raise, tandem stand, and standing hip shift. Each one, in its own way, tackles a misconception that often leads seniors to remain stuck in patterns of pain or uncertainty. By steadily challenging your legs and improving your balance, you can break free from the cycle of cramps and the fear of falling. Think about the difference this could make in your everyday life. Picture yourself walking more confidently across your living room, stepping outdoors without worrying about sudden muscle spasms, or even returning to hobbies like gardening or light dancing. That improved balance might mean fewer worries for your family too, because they'll see you moving with more stability. And though these moves are gentle, consistent practice could pave the way for a profound transformation. While it's crucial to acknowledge that each person's situation is unique, and consulting a healthcare professional is always wise if you have underlying conditions, you now have a toolkit of safe, adaptable exercises. They don't cost a dime and can be done at home, at your own pace. If you've been waiting for that perfect time or that ideal workout plan, consider this a sign that the best time to start is now. The longer you put off strengthening your legs, the more likely those cramps and balance issues could become daily obstacles. Here's something to think about. What if you dedicate the next month to consistently trying just 2 or 3 of these exercises every day? You might notice incremental benefits by the end of the first week, maybe improved circulation or fewer cramps at night. By the end of the month, you might find yourself moving with a sense of security you haven't felt in years. And remember, small steps accumulate over time. You don't have to master all 8 moves immediately. Pick the one that feels most comfortable and start there. If you're eager to deepen your practice, you could invite a friend or family member to join you. Mutual accountability can be a powerful motivator. Or, if you prefer solitude, perhaps you schedule a daily 5-minute session before or after breakfast. Make this a part of your routine the way you brush your teeth or read the morning news. This isn't about rigid training. It's about building a habit that helps you reclaim your confidence and well-being. Finally, I invite you to act on this information in a way that suits you best. You could simply try one move right here, right now, holding on to a stable chair or table, or you could write down the moves to create a mini routine for tomorrow morning. You could also share this message with someone else who might benefit. Spread the word that seniors are more capable than many think, and that there are tools to manage cramps and boost stability at any age. No matter which path you choose, you're making a decision to invest in your own vitality. You're saying yes to greater independence, yes to comfort, and yes to living life on your terms. Think of it like this. Every time you stand up to stretch, balance, or strengthen, you're standing up for your well-being. Thank you for taking this journey with me. Your body is capable of remarkable adaptations, and your spirit is stronger than you might imagine. By embracing these 8 moves, you're not just learning exercises. You're rewriting the story you tell yourself about aging. You're stepping boldly into a future where leg cramps and wobbly steps don't define you. The power's in your hands and your feet, your calves, and your hips. Embrace this new chapter and celebrate each sign of progress along the way.